My name is Viviana Lowe. This is Sergeant Brian Lowe, my husband, and this is our story. We met at the end of high school. Brian and I started working at a restaurant together, and Brian started asking me to go out with him, but I didn't really want to. So he asked me to go to the movies with him, and I said no. And then his brother came, and his brother asked me why I didn't want to go to the movies with his brother. And I was like, I just don't really like him that much. But he just kept trying. Didn't give up. It worked.
I felt stagnant in my job at the restaurant and I needed a change, a purpose. I wanted to join the military and I wanted to be in the best branch, so I joined the Marines. I wanted to challenge myself physically and mentally, and they didn't disappoint. I trained for 3 years before ever deploying, so I was more than ready for it.
While being in Afghanistan, he was there for nine months, right? Brian was exposed to what we know now was very toxic burn pits and chemicals. Brian realized that there was something going on. There was a little spot that shouldn't be there in his mouth. Shortly after that, Brian came home, and this little thing, little white mark, it was like an inch long, suddenly took over his entire mouth. The doctors got to the bottom of it, did the biopsy, and we realized that Brian had the stage 4 tongue and throat cancer. One of the options was to try chemotherapy and radiation, pretty much the most aggressive type of chemotherapy there is, and that alone nearly killed him. A couple times he had to be brought back. And the other option was to do a full laryngectomy and a full glossectomy, where Brian will no longer have a tongue, he will no longer have a larynx, he would not breathe from his nose, and had a hole or a stomach on his throat, and he would have to be tube fed because there would be no way to push food down, so he would have to get all his nutrition by a tube in his stomach.
I really didn't want to, but you have the person who you decided to spend your life with asking. I had to at least try. The surgery was going to be a full day on the operating table, but all I was thinking about leading up to the day was how I would wake up. That was scarier than the surgery itself. So when I woke up, it was so strange not being able to speak and now breathing through a hole in my neck. It was a major life adjustment in which depression settled in immediately. That fog of depression lasted for a long time and still affects me to this day.
It was probably the darkest time, just waking up one day and you have no voice. Every single day was a battle to even get him out of bed. It was a battle to even get him a motivation to think that this life was worth living. And when he will tell me, this is not a life I want to live.
Then one day we got a call from Building Homes for Heroes inviting us to New Jersey for an event. We thought we were just going to meet the team and see what they were all about. Little did we know they had a huge surprise for us. A surprise that would be a turning point in not only my mental health, but our connection as a family.
We're going to give this new family a home. And Viviana, the home you're hoping for in Royal Gardens, Florida, I want you to know it's yours.
It opened up the possibility of us to dream about having a family again and maybe possibly have kids. So our son Lucas was born after the in vitro treatment that was successful, and everything became more relaxed. Our son was already a little bit older, things got a lot easier, Brian was more independent. We suddenly found out that I was pregnant again by surprise, and even the doctors were surprised that Brian was able to get so much better to a point that we were now able to conceive naturally. Then that brought us this huge miracle, which is our second baby, Kai. One of the very interesting things that happened is that once he started working closely with the pathologist, he learned how to drink. He taught himself how to drink liquid by mouth, which at the beginning they told us it was not a possibility. The house, it wasn't just the house itself, it was everything that brought with that. It was the mindset change, it was the possibility of him providing for the family. There is a reason to keep living. There is something amazing on the other side. You did the surgery and now we have all these possibilities that we have in this amazing house and all the things that you can do. And to us, it's just very special.
I can honestly say today that if it wasn't for Andy and the Building Homes for Heroes mission, I wouldn't be the person I am today. They lifted me from a dark place and brought light and happiness to my life. Because of them, I have 2 beautiful sons and a home to raise them in, something I never would have had otherwise. They literally changed my life.